Okay, good morning and welcome to our second day of ICARUS meeting. My name is Maria Kallio and I work here at the National Archives as a senior research officer, and I'll be moderating this first session this morning. Today's topic is services for researchers and citizens, and our first speaker today is Ph.D. Annika Pasanen, who will talk about revitalization of the Sámi languages. Welcome.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Annika Pasanen, and I come from Inari, which is quite an essential place in the world. For instance, because there is Sámi Archives, a branch of Finnish National Archives, located in Inari. Maybe some of you have been there, and if not, you are most welcome. I'm going to talk to you about revitalization of Sámi languages, mostly meaning Sámi languages spoken in Finland. I'm going to describe shortly why Sámi languages became endangered, and then I'm going to spend much more time telling about how they have been taken back. And main methods or tools in this language revitalization and reclamation that I'm going to introduce are language nest, basic elementary education, intensive language education for adults, and then overall modernization of Sámi languages. I'm very happy to be here, and I want to thank you for inviting me. Indeed, archives have played quite an important role in revitalization of many languages of the world, and also in the case of Sámi languages. I'm not a Sámi person here speaking, I'm a Finn, but I have been living in Sámi land in Inari for quite a long time, and I speak 2 Sámi languages. I have been working with these issues in quite many roles. First of all, I'm a researcher. I have been doing research on, for instance, revitalization of Inari Sámi language and many other issues linked to endangerment and revitalization of Sámi languages, and also other Uralic languages, mostly in Russian region. I can describe myself also a language activist. I'm also a mother of 2 children who have learned Inari Sámi through language nest activities. And I have both been doing research and working in grassroots level revitalization projects. Right now I'm working in Sámi Parliament of Finland, coordinating language nest activities. This is my doctoral thesis. It is about revitalization of Inari Sámi language, and it's almost 3 years now that I defended my thesis, and that took place also in Inari, which was the first time in the history of the University of Helsinki. Sámi people can be considered the only indigenous people in the region of European Union. It's hard to tell exactly how many of Sámi people there are in the world, because there is no unite and clear definition of being Sámi. But the estimations are something between 75,000 and 100,000 Sámi people in all the 3 countries, meaning Finland, Sweden, Norway and Russia. Nowadays there are 9 Sámi languages spoken. The 10th of them, Akkala Sámi, can be considered dead or sleeping, because the last person who spoke fluently Akkala Sámi died in 2003, but there are still some people having some knowledge of that language. Three Sámi languages are spoken in Finland: North Sámi, which is by far the largest of all the Sámi languages, then Skolt Sámi, that is also somewhat spoken in Russian region, but not so much nowadays, and then Inari Sámi with number 7, which has always been spoken only in the area of current municipality of Inari. And Sámi languages belong to the Uralic language family, which means that Finnish and, for instance, Karelian are the closest related languages to Sámi languages. But on the basis of Finnish, you cannot understand any Sámi, or single words and phrases, of course, but not anything more. And then speakers of these different Sámi languages can understand each other to some extent. It depends on geographical distance. You may say that geographical distance and linguistic distance go hand in hand. So speakers of neighboring Sámi languages understand each other to some extent, but then it gets harder the further you go. There are approximately 10,000 Sámi people living in Finland. And for instance, last year there were almost 2,000 people announcing Sámi as their mother tongue in our official väestörekisteri, the population register. But this register doesn't tell the whole truth, because many Sámi people are announcing Finnish as their mother tongue. It's only possible to announce one official mother tongue in Finland, which is quite problematic in multilingual communities. There are some estimations about the amount of speakers, referring to 400 speakers of Inari Sámi, 300 speakers of Skolt Sámi, and maybe around 2,000 speakers of North Sámi in Finland. We have this domicile area or homeland of the Sámi in the northernmost Lapland. It is called Sápmi in North Sámi. And this domicile area consists of municipality of Utsjoki, Ohtsejohka, Enontekiö, Enotah, Inari, and here you can see the name Inari written in the 3 Sámi languages spoken in the municipality, because our municipality is somehow semi-officially a 4-lingual municipality with Finnish and 3 Sámi languages spoken there. And then also northernmost part of the municipality of Sodankylä, Soatekylä, belongs to this official domicile area. And Sámi people living in this area have, for instance, quite, in theory, they have quite strong linguistic rights. They have right to use their own language with authorities and so on. But of course, in practice, these rights are not implemented as they should be. And another issue is that already around 60% of all the Sámi in Finland are living outside this Sámi homeland. And they have rather weak possibilities to maintain their language and culture. Sámi people have quite a strong legal status in Finland. As I mentioned, it doesn't mean that these legal rights would always be implemented in practice. But Sámi people are mentioned, for instance, in the Constitution of Finland. There is a separate act on the Sámi Parliament. There is Sámi Language Act and many other laws and acts referring to the rights of Sámi people. And in terms of language revitalization, for instance, this Basic Education Act is quite essential, because it defines that Sámi-speaking pupils in this Sámi domicile area, Sámi homeland, should get their school education, basic education, mainly in Sámi language. and also this Early Childhood Education and Care Act, which obligates municipalities to organize early childhood education in Sámi language to the children who have Sámi language as their mother tongue. I'm representing the Sámi Parliament of Finland right now, and it is a representative self-government body of the Sámi in Finland. There are also similar bodies in Norway and Sweden. In Russia, not so much, because they have rather weak rights and prerequisites of self-government in Russia. Sámi Parliament of Finland was founded in 1996, and there is of course this political part of the Sámi Parliament. There are these political bodies, expert committees of different sections, and then there is this practical part of Sámi Parliament, the Secretariat, where I am working in. I'm working in the Sámi Language Office, which mainly considers all kind of issues related to Sámi languages and linguistic rights of the Sámi people. Sámi Parliament of Finland is funded by the state, and it is administratively working under the Ministry of Justice. Why did Sámi languages become endangered? Mainly because of the same reasons that take place globally, everywhere in the world where linguistic minorities and indigenous people are living and have been living under the pressure of linguistic majorities. Main reason mentioned, for instance, in my interview materials is Finnish education policy, which meant that Sámi children were educated in boarding schools that were, of course, functioning only in Finnish, and depending on area and depending on single schools and single teachers, Sámi children might be strictly forbidden to use Sámi language, and at the best it maybe wasn't strictly forbidden, but it wasn't used and it wasn't appreciated, and it was quite clear for the Sámi children that Sámi languages and Sámi culture have no value in this education system. Of course, the Second World War and all its consequences have influenced vitality of the Sámi languages quite a lot. For instance, the fact that people of Lapland had to be evacuated to Finnish-speaking areas, and Lapland was burned and had to be rebuilt, which meant more and more Finnish-speaking population in the area. And then there are, for instance, very tragic phases of history of the Skolt-Sámi group that had to leave their home area, which was left to Soviet Union, and many other reasons. And as a result of all these processes, Sámi languages kind of lost their functions in the society, and less and less families were able to transmit Sámi languages to the children, and Finnish language became the only medium of modernization for many decades. But then happened something. Then started revitalization movement of Sámi languages. Revitalization movement can be defined as a deliberate, organized, conscious effort by members of a society to construct a more satisfying culture. I like this definition quite a lot. Revitalization means slowing down or even stopping language shift from minority language to majority language. It is taking the language back, but it's also taking the language to whole new levels. So language revitalization is not so much looking back, but it's looking forward. It's modernization in one's own language. Language revitalization actually is implemented quite often like some kind of project having start and end. But that's now how it should be seen, because language revitalization cannot be a project in the world where all these factors of assimilation are just going on and going on. They are always going to be in the life of indigenous or minority group. So language revitalization also should be seen as constant, continuing activity to strengthen the language of the group. Here you can see some photos of language nest and language nest children speaking Inari-Sami language in this case. And language nest has indeed become maybe the main factor of reversing language shift or revitalization of at least Inari-Sami and Skolt-Sami groups. Language nest means early total immersion in an endangered language. So in practice it is a kindergarten or a single group of kindergarten where teachers or nurses speak only the language in question to the children from the first moment, even if the children don't understand the language in the beginning. And the aim of the language nest is to transmit an endangered language which cannot be transmitted at home, not at all or not enough. And this is global concept. Language nest activities have played a very important role in revitalization of many languages, for instance Maori, Hawaiian and Sami languages. Nowadays there are already 14 Sami language nests in Finland. 10 of them are working in the Sami area and 4 language nests outside it. And there are 9 language nests in North Sami, 3 in Inari-Sami and 2 in Skolt-Sami. These language nests are mostly funded by Finnish Ministry of Education and Culture, but municipalities also pay a part of these expenses. And Sami Parliament is the body that coordinates the funding and also supports and develops these activities. And then what happens after the language nest? At the best case, language nest children and also other, maybe even mother tongue Sami-speaking children can get their basic education in Sami language. And meaning education in Sami language means that all the subjects or part of the subjects are actually taught in the Sami language. So it's not only language instruction we are talking about, but instruction of history and maths and so on. And this basic education has begun in different Sami languages gradually and depending of the area. In the case of Inari-Sami and Skolt-Sami, it only began less than 20 years ago, but North Sami has a longer history in this mother tongue medium education. Nowadays, in almost all elementary schools in the domicile area of the Sami are offering education in Sami language. And even the city of Helsinki is going to start bilingual Sami-Finnish speaking class next autumn. And there are also similar plans in other cities. And then, of course, instruction of the Sami language is organized much more. It can be organized also by distance education if there is, for instance, no teacher in a particular school. So basic education is something that can, as Ulle-Henrik Makka and Tuve Skutnapkangas have put it, it can play a very important role in revitalization, but it can play even more important role in killing the language. Then about the adult population. It's a very common situation that language revitalization begins with the children, and community may end up in a situation that children and elders know the language, but then there is this lost generation, middle generation left without the language in the middle. And it makes revitalization quite hard because it is the working age adults who should be working as teachers and who should be making educational materials and so on. So this is something that should be very seriously taken into account when planning revitalization efforts. There is one method more effective than any other methods in the world, at least that I know, and it is intensive one-year lasting full-time education of Sámi language and culture for adults. It means that adult people actually leave their jobs and organize their life in a way that they can spend a whole year studying Sámi language and culture. And this is organized in Inari, at Sámi Education Institute, and it is organized in all the 3 Sámi languages spoken in Finland. There are, of course, some formal language classes, but then there are also other methods like master-apprentice language training or interaction, and also language immersion for adults. And these studies begin in August and they end in the beginning of June, and it is basically 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. So it is a very hard work for adult people. It's much harder for adult people than for children. But they are actually making it. There are now dozens and dozens of these new speakers of all the 3 Sámi languages in Finland, and many of them are working at school in language nests. Many of them have started to speak Sámi language to their own children as well. And this master-apprentice interaction means that these students may train their language skills and also get some cultural knowledge from the elders who know the language and culture, who are mother tongue speakers. They may do just anything. They may go fishing, or they may go shopping, or they may just sit around the table and talk, but it all has to be done in the Sámi language. Finnish is totally excluded. And it is very effective, it is very healing for the community, it's very important for the elders to begin a part of the revitalization, and it's of course very valuable for these students and new speakers of Sámi languages. This is the end of the first intensive adult education of Inari Sámi language. Here are 17 new speakers of Inari Sámi with their teachers and language masters. Okay, then some words about modernization of Sámi languages. Modernization of the Sámi languages is necessary Sami languages cannot live today like they were spoken 50 years or 100 years ago. We have to use Sami languages in this current world. We have to speak about issues that didn't even exist 50 or 100 years ago. And that means that new vocabulary has to be created. For instance, in the case of Inari Sami language, there have been concretely created 15,000 new words since the year 2000, when the school education in Inari Sami began. Because when teachers had to be able to teach maths and history and biology in the language, they didn't have enough words for that. So this is very concrete work. There are also other important ways of modernization Sami languages, for instance, pop music. The traditional puristic view on minority language means that languages could only be used in the ways they were used 50 or 100 years ago. But as I said, Sami languages today have to be used as any other languages today, which means that there has to be pop music and any other things going on in Sami languages. And Sami languages have to be used in new ways, totally unexpected ways. For instance, in the form of rap music. In the picture you can see rap artist Amok Mikkal-Antti Morottaja, who performs rap music in Inari Sami. Here is also another unexpected use of Sami languages. This summer there is going on this popular campaign, Kesäkumi, summer condom, translated in the three Sami languages. And this is also very important. Okay, then I guess I won't have enough time to go to the media. I can just shortly mention that Sami media, Yle Sápmi, plays a very essential role in the revitalization of Sami languages. And then I can end up showing you a picture of two men who put the revitalization process of Inari Sami language forward in the year 86 by founding an association of Inari Sami language. And these two men started language nest activities in Inari Sami language, and they started school education in Inari Sami language. Nowadays they are already retired, and there are other people and other activists and new speakers continuing this work. But without these two single men, all this wouldn't have happened in the case of Inari Sami. And then I will read you a short citation of Matti Morottaja. I will read it in Inari Sami. Talleko täkkär utsa almukasteko anarsahu vikkä outetit kiela ja kulttuur. Te i kolkas miettamentu ennu, et liusuntot mähdulas. Kalka ketsat kuhas ja uänit outos kuli. Kalka orvad. Taat parko ilah pessimist tai parko liipäkkule the optimist. So this work is not for pessimists. You have to be an optimist. Kiitos. Thank you.